Hey, guys and gals, and welcome to yet another edition of Stephen's Kingdom. Tonight, I'm going to be discussing The Dark Tower, Gerald's Game, Hey Blissful, and 1922, which was based on a Stephen King novella that I have not read, and I had not seen this adaptation either. And I did watch it on Netflix today. Um, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on that one as well as the other two films tonight. Um, so, just a reminder of what's going on the rest of the week. I do think I have all the thumbnails up for the promotion for the things coming up for the rest of the week. I did send Chris the link to this one. However, he may have not had, time to look into the movies, or he may have not been interested, or he may have just been too busy. So I will go it alone if Chris doesn't show up. If he does show up, we'll get him on here and he can help me talk about these movies. But upcoming for the rest of the week, tomorrow will be another Everybody Wants England. I have a new intro prepared. It will be the same video clips, but a different song playing. So I hope you guys and gals will enjoy that coming up tomorrow. But I will be talking about 2001 Maniacs, Hatchet, and Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. So you can look forward to that on Tuesday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday will be another Apples and Oranges. I'm going to be talking about final exams. So if anybody wants to join me, either for the Everybody Wants England, can't talk tonight, sorry, words are hard once again, but Everybody Wants England, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, or the Apples and Oranges on final exam, also starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You are welcome to join me. Just let me know, and I'll be sure to get the link to you. Thursday will be the return of Seductive Poison, the Resurgence Triple Threat Review Show. And I will be covering Stephen King's Cat's Eye, The Cellar, and Cemetery of Terror, which is a Spanish horror film. Friday will be a double dose of me, and Candace will also be joining me for the second stream. But Terror Time Tea will be up first at about 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday. And I will be talking about Night School and Wes Craven's The Serpent and the Rainbow. And then for Friday Foolish at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, Candace and I will be discussing the weirdest films we've ever seen. And this will not just be horror movies. This will be a variety of genres. So be sure to tune in for that Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. No movie munchies, no watch alongs this weekend. And if you were in here for the watch along for Southern Comfort last night, I did let everybody know that I'm going to be taking a few months off of the movie munchies. The watch alongs will continue every other weekend. This is just so I don't get burnt out doing a movie munchies even every other weekend. Okay, so without further ado, and I apologize, I don't have any physical copies of these films to show you. So this is just going to be me simply talking about the films. Now, the first film, The Dark Tower, and even though it has Matthew McConaughey in it, and I absolutely adore Matthew McConaughey in most anything, even Matthew McConaughey could not save this film. Now, if I want to reference the source material, and I want to talk about the source material, which is a series of books that Stephen King wrote over a number of years. And by years, I mean a lot of years. And I thought the series was incredible. And when I started the Dark Tower series, I didn't know if I was going to like it because I was thinking, I it appeared to be a fantasy western is the best way I can describe the Dark Tower series. Um, but I was like, I'm okay on fantasy, I'm okay on westerns, but I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. But it didn't take me long to just get completely embroiled in the story of the man in black and the gunslinger and all the people that the gunslinger pulls from different time periods. Um, so that's the basic story. The man in black is bad, and the gunslinger is following the man in black in order to destroy him. Now, when you get to the final book of the series and how it ends, that pissed a lot of people off because they were like, "What? I read this whole entire series and this is how it ends." And I don't want to give it away for those of you that haven't read the Dark Tower series. You might be considering reading it or something like that. And I definitely don't want to ruin that for you because despite people getting aggravated with the ending of the series still is an incredible series, well worth your time to read it. And I thought the ending was justified based on following the entire series. But I can see why people got angry with it. But the movie, folks, oh my gosh, it is so generic is the best way I can describe it. And like I said, even Matthew McConaughey can't save this movie. Um, this movie deserved, or this book series deserved a faithful film adaptation, and this wasn't it. What they did was not it. It was thin. It was so thin you could see through it. Um, it it didn't have anything that made me want to follow it. I gave up on this one like the first quarter of the way into it. And it made me feel sad. It made me feel sad in the same way that watching Phantasm Ravager made me sad. Because I really think they waited too long to make some kind of film adaptation of this series. I think that they really should have started earlier on, maybe when, Stephen King was in the first two books or something, and then tried to make something. Or, make something epic. Make like a mini series or something out of it. Not what we got with this. So yeah, I was not a fan of the Dark Tower film. And and that's why I'm going to give it one of the lowest ratings that I give. Um and I really hate to do this, but I'm going to have to simply give it one deadite out of 5 because there's just no substance to this movie. If you want to get the story of the gunslinger, the man in black, all the people that are pulled from different time periods to help the gunslinger, stick with the books with this one, folks. Now, if somebody comes along at a later date and wants to make something better, then I will give it another go. I definitely will give it another go. Um, but the first Dark Tower adaptation that they made. Ooh, yeah, depressing. That's the best way I can describe it. So, guys and gals, again, me doing this on my own is going to be kind of quick. I'll try not to make it too awfully quick, but it's better if I don't just go on and ramble when I'm on here by myself, because that makes these things very boring. And I would not want to make it boring for you guys and gals. So the next one is Gerald's Game. And I finally sat down and watched this one about a year or two ago. And yes, I was a little delayed on watching it. I love the book. I absolutely love the book, Gerald's Game. Um, Incredible book. One of Stephen King's best, I think. At least as far as the more modern books that he's done, that one was definitely hit the mark. Um, the movie as well was fantastic. And followed, in my opinion, it followed the book pretty closely and had a great song at the beginning of it, by Sam Cooke. Um, and I'm trying to. I love the song, but the name is escaping me. Um, Hold on just one second here. Yeah, the song is by Sam Cooke. It's called "Bring It On Home to Me." Which, if you're not familiar with that song, look it up. Look it up on YouTube and listen to it. I think it's a fantastic song, and I love Sam Cooke's voice as well. But for this movie to open with that song was fantastic. So you have the story of a couple whose marriage is going through some rough spots, right? We've all been there, done that. Anybody that's been married for any length of time, or anybody that has been in you don't necessarily have to be married. Anybody that's been in a relationship with another person for any length of time, there's going to be bumps, right? So they're going to a cabin to kind of reignite the fire in their marriage, basically. But the husband has, some sexual kinks, including he likes to handcuff his wife to the bed, and then, he does whatever he needs to do to get off, basically. So, but on this particular occasion, the wife is handcuffed to the bed. She can do nothing. The husband's getting ready to do his thing, and yeah, bring it on home. Yeah. Thank you, Blissful. Blissful has done the duty of putting the link to the Sam Cooke song. So I encourage you to take a listen to that if you've never heard that particular song. So, right at the moment that they're getting ready to get down to business, the husband has a heart attack and dies. So, guess what? The wife is stuck, handcuffed to this bed, in an isolated cabin. We don't know when or if anybody is going to ever show up around here. Um, so how scary is that? I think that is very creepy and scary. And then you have an outside element that shows up that makes it even creepier. Okay. So some people might be thinking about this movie and think, that sounds kind of boring. No, actually, it's not. The book was not boring, and the movie version, the film adaptation, was not boring either, in my opinion. I absolutely loved it. It was very suspenseful. It kept me going throughout the entire film. Um, Sam Cooke's one of your all-time favorites, Blissful. Yeah, I mean, the man, had an incredible, incredible voice. And the songs he sang were just very meaningful. Um, so, in my opinion, this was very faithful to Stephen King's source material. Had great acting in it. This wasn't at all like The Dark Tower. I became immersed in it. And that's always a good sign for me. If I become totally immersed in the film that I'm watching, then that's always, always a good indicator to me that the movie's going to carry me through to the end and that I'm going to enjoy it. And so the rating I want to give for Gerald's Game is I'm going to give this one 4 deadites out of 5. Not a perfect film, but very, very close to the source material and a very, very good adaptation of Stephen King's work. I would highly recommend it. Try to seek out a for free version if you can. Don't go out and, purchase this or anything like that unless you think that it's something that you're going to watch multiple times. TJ, you say Mike Flanagan hasn't been boring yet, in your opinion? Yeah, Mike Flanagan's good. Yeah, he is definitely on the mark. Um, but the last one I want to talk about is 1922. This is the one that I have not read Stephen King's novella, so bear with me. I won't be able to compare this with the source material. But I really, really enjoyed 1922. It may be a little depressing and dark and stuff like that to some people, just a word of warning there. But it concerns a man and his wife and his son in 1922. And the wife, I ain't even gonna lie, the wife is a bit of a bitch. And it's kind of like it reminded me of a Green Acres scenario if Green Acres wasn't a funny like sitcom. If Green Acres had a darker edge to it, then 1922 would be it. Because the man is a farmer and his wife got 100 acres of land as an inheritance from her father. Evidently, her father was really rich and she was really rich. And she doesn't want to live out on a farm. She wants to move to Omaha because guess what? Here's a little connection with the Stand because Mother Abigail was from Hemingford Home, Nebraska. This is where 1922 takes place, Hemingford Home, Nebraska. So the wife wants to move to Omaha. She wants to open a dress shop. The husband is not interested in moving to the big city. His son is not interested in moving to the big city. His son, in fact, has a girlfriend who he ends up getting pregnant at some point in the film. So he doesn't want to leave his girlfriend, who he's serious about, and run off to Omaha just because his mom wants to open a dress shop. The mother is also she also appears to be an alcoholic, and she says some really vulgar things when she's drinking, even to her son, about him and his girlfriend and all that. So basically, the husband's had enough of this nonsense from his wife, and he hatches a plot to kill her. It's a very vicious killing and very gory. I ain't even gonna lie about this. He basically stabs her to death and slits her throat. And this also reminds me a little bit of Dolores Claiborne, in that after he kills her, he throws her in a well on the property. He throws the bloody mattress in the well. He throws her suitcase full of clothes, because he's going to tell people she just left him and the boy, and went off to Omaha to open up that dress shop. And he has to also hatch a plot to fill in this well, because, for one thing, she's going to start stinking down there, and he's trying to cover this up. And um, so this was hard for me to watch, even though I knew that a cow wasn't being killed for real. But they get one of their large female cows and has the cow stand on the wooden top of this well until it breaks and the cow falls down in. Now, the reason why he does that is so he has a reason to fill this well in. And there's also a lot of rats down there as well. He sees a rat go into his wife's dead mouth and come back out, and all that. Rats are seen quite prominently in the film. So he gets away with her murder. He covers over the well. No, but the sheriff comes out like basically one time to ask him questions. The sheriff's satisfied and goes away. Um, then the other shoe drops, and he finds out that his son Henry has gotten his girlfriend pregnant. Keep in mind, this is 1922. Her father is rich, and he's going to send his daughter off to, I guess, a home for unwed mothers, basically, so she won't shame the family by being pregnant and not married. Well, Henry's having none of that. So her and Henry run away. They take um, his father's truck, or one of his father's trucks, and they leave. But he told his son, you can't, before this happened, he told him, you can't make it on your own. And they found out the hard way, but he and the girlfriend turned to a life of crime, where they robbed people, robbed banks, robbed people that they met. They were called the Sweetheart Bandits. And so one particular guy they messed with wasn't having any of it, and shoots the girlfriend in the belly, or in the stomach, whatever you want to say. And Henry takes her, and I'm guessing that either she gave birth to the baby and gave it up. I don't recall them saying King ripped off Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, I think King was really interested in the story of Bonnie and Clyde. I think I've heard him say that. So I'm not really sure if she lost the baby when she got shot, if she had the baby and gave it up for adoption because they couldn't take care of it, or what happened there. But Henry ends up taking her to this dilapidated house, and she dies. And he can't deal with it and kills himself. And you see the two laying together. And so when the father goes to look at his son's body, his son's face is almost unrecognizable. And the coroner tells him, uh, I'm sorry, sir. He said the rats got to both of them before they were found. So all the while, the husband and the father is seeing his dead wife talking to him. Then he sees Henry talking to him, kind of like a American Werewolf in London scenario, or any of the different ghost movies that we have seen over the years, right? Um, and the he's writing his whole confession in a hotel room, and he's talking about how he killed his wife and all that stuff, and he's telling basically the whole story of what happened in the year 1922, hence the title. So um, it is assumed by me that the father and husband killed himself at the end after he had made his confession. But even though the subject matter was very dark and a lot of it was depressing, it sort of reminded me of A Simple Plan, kind of, because things go from bad to worse to something that you just simply cannot come back from. And but I still thought it was really well made. I would encourage you, if you have Netflix, go ahead and watch it on Netflix. I don't know if there's any other places that it would be available. I was not able to find it on YouTube. I found the trailer and stuff like that for it, but I was unable to find the full film. But if you have Netflix, or somebody that does have Netflix, you can definitely watch it on there. Um, so, again, I'm going to give this one a 4 deadites out of 5. It was not a absolutely perfect film, but it was a decent film, and one that I could see myself going back and watching again. Again, I have not read the source material, so sadly, I cannot compare the two as to how close the adaptation followed the source material. So, that's about it from me for tonight. I've been on here close to 30 minutes total, but I hope that you guys and gals have enjoyed uh, listening to me talk about these movies. Perhaps it has encouraged you guys and gals to go out and seek these movies out. All except I mean, you can watch The Dark Tower if you want, but oh man, guys and gals, that one is definitely the weakest of the three that I covered tonight. Thank you, Blissful. I appreciate that. Um, but I guess I'll get off here at the 30-minute mark, which is going to be in a few more seconds. But I do want to remind you guys and gals before I get off of here for the night that a new Everybody Wants England will be coming up tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will be covering 2001 Maniacs, Hatchet, and Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. And I've got a new intro coming for Everybody Wants England. So hopefully you will like that, and hopefully you will like the films that I'm talking about. And I echo Blissful. Have a beautiful night, everyone. And this gal is off like a dirty shirt, but before I go, I want to remind you guys and gals, as always, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. We got through Monday. We can make it through the rest of the week, guys and gals. So I'm out of here, and I'll see everybody next time.